Welcome to Isis in the Bible, the Winter Gathering, week number 5. Trust me. The question for today is, what does the word trust mean to you? Wow. We had a really great conversation. It was one of the longest conversations we had, rightfully so, and with great meaning. And the conclusion is this group trusts everybody in the group. We got to get that trust back with everybody. So trust me, you are going to eat from the tree of knowledge today, the divine knowledge of how trust needs to be looked at, both the physical and the spiritual. Trust the process. Who do you trust? So welcome. What's happening in the sky? Well, interestingly enough, the moon is in an eclipse position, and in some people this affects. So one of our Isis in the Bible gang felt this eclipsing moon. So the moon is with the tail of the snake, the south node. So it's a reminder that the body always tells the truth, but the mind can hold untruths. And it's in Virgo purity, hence the theme today. So this is happening right now. And right across, in eclipse position, is Chiron, the wounded healer. That's what we are. That's who we are. We are wounded healers. So the wounded healer is in Pisces, which is about ending some cycles. And for many, it will be about being pure as the moon aligns the south node today. So those are the type of signs you can expect when these are happening. But it all depends on your chart. And remember, the cardinal points, both the wandering and the fixed stars, are really important. So you can see this is on the house system right here. And that would be for Windsor. All right, the other thing I wanted to show, that right here, right at 333, Lilith is aligned the vertex. So we're talking about trusts and the physical trust and the trusts that are in the bank and the whole trust of the banking system. And look at the vertex is aligned exactly Lilith in Scorpio, which is, so Lilith is temptations, Scorpio is temptations, and here we are meeting when the vertex is aligned Lilith, destiny's gate, a change in the way we think. So that's pretty synchronistic for today. And remember, Lilith brings great gifts, huge gifts. And a third thing that's happening exactly for us in this meeting today is Neptune, aligned with the midheaven and something new being birthed. So there's going to be this very interesting synchronicities. I wanted to make a quick mention that Uranus, that which holds up the sky, you holding up people's worlds, because it's that which holds up the womb. It's that which holds up the sky and the eye. Well, Uranus just went direct from coming out of retrograde. When was it? January the 28th it came out. So now what does that mean? Well, what I'm trying to show you is that Uranus is now making its way towards the cusp of Aries and Taurus. And it's going to cycle back and forth a few times before it crosses. Well, Uranus holding up the sky for others, that's us holding up the sky for others, no matter what it means. And so Taurus, the bull, Taurus has given signs of crashing markets, crashing stock markets. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it can happen because that's the voice of the woman. That's the voice of the earth and woman is Taurus. The last time this happened was in May 1940 through March of 1941, going back and forth across this energetic cusp. And it's going to happen in June of this year through to March of 2025. So we'll talk more about it as we get closer. So that's what's happening in the sky. So Uranus is said to hold up the sky. This is the firmament in the Bible. You know when you see a rainbow in every bubble? When you take a bath, a bubble bath, you see that light and that rainbow in every bubble? That's how Uranus is related. So look, folks, it's all about trust. Look at all the ancient civilizations. Ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, Hebrew, ancient Greece, India, China, Norse, Mesoamerica. They all know that we're covered with a firmament. The firmament is the sky up above. You can't leave the firmament. This is where you got to trust again. Do you trust what the ancients wrote, or do you trust what the billionaires tell you about leaving the firmament, going to the moon, doing all those things, right? Another rabbit hole. So I know you are ready for the shift. I know you are, because we got to trust in what the process is, and that's called love. So here's the question you can ask yourself during this gathering. Do you trust this is an image we left behind of eating from the tree of knowledge that's written in the Bible? Do you see the tree? Do you see these inverted eggs, which represent things in manifest? You're showing him checking to see if the fruit is ripe. He's holding the crook and the flail on the throne, the Ankh. So this is you being guided to the truth from your past. Could this be possibly a scene, a non-literal scene of you and your Phoenix rising state of mind? This is a tree of knowledge that's written in the Bible. This is the image. Again, you hold the crook and the flail, the self-harvesting tools. This Ankh, I've gotten a sign for what the Ankh means, and it came while I was doing this presentation. To understand the truth of stillness, of pure potential that you can tap into. Your past, your elder is checking that ripe fruit behind you. So the next slide is this exact scene. Are you ready? So during the making of this presentation, I remembered the sleep paralysis that I used to get as a child. And I could imagine an ice cream and it would appear so vividly. So I put this into action right then and there last night while I was making this presentation. And I made myself become catatonic and not move, not breathe, nothing. And then start imagining the world being in a beautiful, peaceful place. I felt this loving energy wrap itself around me. Says, okay, let me go look at the chart. And right at that moment, there is the black moon rising right on my natal Venus, and that's the Ankh. That's that still. The circle represents the stillness, the all, and the cross represents us in manifestation. So this means this is a manifesting sign. It's the life sign that everybody talks about. It's the Ankh. It's the circle and the cross. It's the infinite, us being infinite, dying on the cross. So this exact feeling that I got last night is about what we're about to come upon. When they say to meditate, meditation isn't cutting it. You blank the mind so that you can become as still as possible, mummified, so to speak, because when you're still, you're that pure potential and you can imagine what you want. And that's what I was being shown as a child. I don't know why I thought about an ice cream, but then an ice cream popped right in front of my face. It wasn't real, but it was vivid, and it was hanging there with my eyes open. But I wasn't breathing. I couldn't move, nothing. But that means I could manifest in that state, in that mind. So you're being fed from the tree of knowledge. If you want to get yourself in that catatonic state when you want to imagine something beautiful and what you want to do with your newfound abundance, because you're going to have it. So much more is being revealed. That Ankh protruding from the Phoenix rising. So I was watching this video earlier that day, and then I clicked back on it. And this was the image where I stopped the video. This is the Phoenix rising, the Bennu bird. This is you, your body, being still, and then the Ankh sitting there right there on the third eye. The stillness, the manifestation of it. They're calling the story of Ptah, the first god explained. Well, this is you. This is all about us. We're going to read it more and more. So we're infinite. Get ready for your wings. The pure invigoration, knowing that we knew what we are once again to know. We're knowing what we used to know. And it's beautiful. Okay, so now we'll touch on the two sides of trust. It does really boil down to Psalm 82:6. I said, ye are all gods. I will quote Bob. Bob is one of our Unity members on Sundays. He said, you are source. You created all. Everything that's in your life, you create. So there is a physical, material trust and a metaphysical, spiritual trust of love and perfection of Mother Nature. I know you guys are all choosing wisely. You remember the story in the Bible where Jesus flips the tables of the merchants? This is the story of cleansing of the temple. Remember, it's not a literal story of a physical temple per se. The metaphysical temple is what's written on the Egyptian walls. We've talked about the Temple of Horus, where you have the 42 spiritual laws. You can trust in them. They're your guides. When you say them, if you feel good about every one of them, then you're doing good. And you can see all the paintings show a lot of things being done that aren't beautiful. Sodom and Gomorrah, basically, and the merchants. And all the merchants that are out there right now, the banking merchants, they're all going to crumble. That's what this sign means. This is what that means. The profit. Everybody chasing the material. I want. Well, we're all going to get. So we're going to be releasing videos on how trust works in the material world and how your wings will be tested. There's one more big test that we're all going to be coming upon, and it's very easy to pass. So soon you will all have your manifestations become realities, but I know you will choose your hearts. So I made up this little video, and we're going to be speaking on it. But this is how a bunch of people around the world are getting access to their trust by renaming themselves. This is where the banks have all their assets in trusts that they haven't touched. It's your insurance policy, and everybody's going to get access to it. They're already doing it all over the world. People are getting access to it. I've been studying it for the last 2 weeks to see how truth it is. Oh, it's truthful. And it actually aligns with everything that's happening in the stars. So just know that, be careful on this road. I'm going to go forward with it. I'm going to see if it works. People say it works. But if it does work, what am I going to do with those funds? That's the question. So that's the last temptations of Christ. So choose wisely. You see, as above is, so below. So everything is vibrating higher. Your wings are growing, and all that you think about becomes a reality. Like I said, you can think of something and Amazon delivers it to your door one day later. But it has to be done with good intention if you want to keep your wings. Trust me when I say banking trust is about to flip upside down. And I mean that literally. All debt will become abundance. And I know you will handle it with sharing and caring and to bring this world to unity. Stay tuned, pun intended. Okay, so a quick couple of minutes on trust in the Bible. From the book of Proverbs.
Yes.
From the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, wisdom bestows well-being. Verses 5 and 6. Trust in the ruling goddess, that's Lord, right? With all your heart, and lean not on your understanding. In all your ways, submit to her, and she will make your path straight. So when we trust in love, everything will be guided. Use your heart. What are you going to do with that abundance? What this is saying is love and Mother Nature is the way. Submit to it and your path will be paved, and the beauty of it all. Remember, all the buildings come down Centuries after centuries after centuries, we have all the proof that all those ancient civilizations, they fall. But Mother Nature always wins. From the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, a test of the heart, verse 7 and 8. But blessed is the one who trusts in the ruling goddess, Lord, whose confidence is in her. They will be like a tree planted by the water. So trust the process. You will always be fed. You will always be loved. That tree by the water always has the loving water. So eating from this fruit of the tree of knowledge is meant to be at one with love, Mother Nature, and the perfection in these infinite cycles that she brings us through. All right, Isis and the Bible gang. We just got 2 little things and we're done. Kat has volunteered to read this beautiful poem. And so if you guys can get in a little stillness mode, this is kind of like a little meditation, but not. So Rev Kat, do you mind sharing this poem from Marg from Unity Kitchener?
Yes, sir. By myself, I am nothing at all, but in general, I am in wanting of love. For it is in this wanting that the life of all people exists. Julia Norwich. Sit in a comfortable position with your eyes closed, breathing naturally and relaxing deeply. Become aware of your desire to know love in this moment. Choose a word or a phrase that expresses your intention to be open to love's presence. Now hold the word in your intention, gently, without speaking, repeating it slowly in your mind. Be curious. Be in wonder. Who is my neighbor here with me today? Simply return to the word which symbolizes your intention whenever your mind wanders. Take this word with you on your travels or release it to the universe. Gradually, let the word fall away as you slip into silence. By myself, I am nothing at all, but in general, I am in the wanting of love. For it is in this wanting that the life of all people exists. Be curious, wondering or winning.
Thank you, sister. And thank you, Sister Kathy Thompson, for sharing who Julia Norwich is. Because I didn't know, I just thought she was just somebody of recent, but Julia Norwich, she wrote this book, Revelations of Divine Love, from 1343. She's a remarkable figure in religious history and was an English mystic and theologian who lived during the 14th and 15th centuries. Her famous writings of her mystical revelations was in that book, Revelations of Divine Love. Trust the process. You are infinite and you're one love. Okay, thank you, Serena. We just got this little ditty. It's a couple minutes long and it's called Rise. It's a feel good.
Such is the way of the world, you can never know just where to put all your faith and how will it grow. Gonna rise up. suddenly swallowed by signs. Lo and behold, gonna rise up, find my direction magnetically. Gonna rise up, throw down my ace in the hole.
And that's all we have for today.